A violent air confrontation between the German FW-190 fighter and the American B-17 Flying Fortress took place over war-torn Europe during World War II. The B-17 had a strong enemy in the nimble and highly armed FW-190, while being praised for its durability and capacity to drop damaging payloads deep into enemy territory. This titanic struggle highlighted a crucial difference in weaponry and tactical prowess that would influence the development of aerial combat. Examining these famous aircraft's intricate details offers a gripping story of technological advancement, tactical adaptability, and the high-stakes struggle for supremacy in the air. In a 1945 report titled Armaments in the Air War 1939 to 1945, produced by the United States Strategic Survey, the philosophy guiding bomber armaments during World War II is outlined. The report emphasizes that bomber armaments were carefully selected to achieve an optimal minimum firepower rather than maximizing it. This strategic choice was made to mitigate the detrimental impact of heavy weaponry, ammunition requirements, and the presence of gunners on the overall performance of bombers. These factors, if not carefully managed, could significantly diminish crucial aspects such as range, maneuverability, and bomb-carrying capacity. Bomber design during this period prioritized maximizing the aircraft's operational range and its capacity to carry bombs while ensuring that the firepower on board remained within practical limits. This approach was crucial for conducting long-range bombing missions effectively and returning safely to the base. By striking this balance, bomber crews could deliver payloads accurately while defending against enemy fighters without compromising the aircraft's ability to fulfill its primary mission objectives. Furthermore, the report goes into the evolving trends in the development of bomber and fighter aircraft throughout the war. It highlights how advancements in technology and tactical requirements influenced the armament choices for both types of aircrafts. Bombers saw improvements in gun sights and defensive armament configurations aimed at enhancing their survivability against enemy interceptors. Fighter aircraft, on the other hand, underwent continuous upgrades to increase their firepower capabilities for effectively targeting and neutralizing bomber formations. Overall, the strategic approach to bomber armaments reflected in the report underscores the delicate balance between offensive power and the operational capabilities required to achieve strategic bombing objectives during World War II. This balanced strategy ensures that bombers could operate effectively in combat conditions while minimizing vulnerabilities that could compromise mission success. Gunners aiming at small, fast, and agile targets pose significant challenges due to their swift movements and evasive maneuvers. Bomber interceptors, in contrast, found it relatively easier to track and engage large, slow-moving bombers that typically flew in straight paths. However, destroying robust bombers like the B-7 proved difficult, prompting German interceptor aircraft to enhance their firepower progressively throughout the war. During World War II, bomber strategies evolved to address these challenges. Bombers focused on refining their gun sights and adopting tactics to effectively engage smaller, faster targets encountered during missions. This adaptation was crucial for improving their defensive capabilities against agile enemy fighters seeking to disrupt bombing operations. Concurrently, fighter aircraft underwent substantial enhancements in firepower aimed at maximizing their ability to neutralize bomber formations. This strategic shift saw German fighters equipped with increased armament capabilities, enabling them to inflict significant damage on enemy bombers with greater efficiency. Late-war B-7 bombers, for instance, incorporated advanced compensating and reflecting gun sights at positions such as the waist and tail. Bombers were equipped with sufficient armaments to defend against fighter aircraft that managed to penetrate their escort defenses, ensuring that they could withstand aerial assaults without being overly burdened by excessive weaponry. Meanwhile, German fighter planes were armed to the maximum extent possible, reflecting a strategic imperative to effectively engage and destroy enemy bombers, thereby influencing the course of aerial combat during World War II. The FW-190 started with 4 MG-17 machine guns firing 7.92mm bullets, which were not very powerful. Later, 2 MG-151 20mm autocannons were added, along with 2 MG-17 machine guns. The FW-190 also adopted 2 larger MG-131 machine guns and 4 20mm autocannons. A diagram from a 1944 FW-190 aircraft handbook shows the placement of these weapons. The MG-131 13mm machine guns are positioned to shoot through the fighter's propeller, while the 4 20mm autocannons are located in the wings. In some configurations, fighters were equipped with 2 MG-131 machine guns, 2 20mm autocannons, and 2 30mm autocannons. Cannons were considered the best weapons for attacking bombers. A detailed evaluation of the effectiveness of the Mk-108 cannon is found in a 1947 report titled Japanese Air Weapons and Tactics from the United States Strategic Bombing Survey. The most effective aircraft cannon was the 30-meter Mk-18. Its ability to damage bombers was clearly demonstrated during the European theater in the war. The evolution of the B-7 bomber's armament is shown in a table from a September 1945 document by the AAF Air Technical Service Command titled Tactical Planning. As the war progressed, more guns were added, but the most significant improvement came from replacing standard gun sights with reflector or compensating sights. Another enhancement was using 100% belted armor-piercing incendiary ammunition. Two main factors reduced bomber losses to fighters: long-range fighter escorts and flying in tight formations. The benefits of flying in formations are detailed in a 1945 document from the Central School for Flexible Gunnery titled Gunnery in the B-29. Flying in formation made it easier for pilots to navigate safely. In formation, bombers can drop bombs accurately and provide maximum gun coverage against attackers. The most effective defense formation stacks bombers on top of each other, but this makes bombing difficult and flying complex, similar to a broadside naval attack. If a bomber falls out of formation, it loses the protection of mutual firepower from other bombers. Stragglers accounted for 50% of bomber losses on some missions, as noted in the 1945 document on Air Force Tactical Development. To understand how a B-17 bomber would fare against a single FW-190 fighter, we can compare their firepower. In this scenario, the B-17 could fire its tail guns, upper turret guns, and a single radio room gun towards the 5 o'clock high direction. The FW-190, in contrast, would have a much higher firepower advantage, peaking at 236 compared to the B-17's horizontal firepower line at 60. The FW-190 continuously increased its firepower throughout the war, greatly surpassing the B-17. By the end of the war, the FW-190 firepower exceeded the B-17's by almost 4 times. B-17 bombers improved their firepower slightly, focusing on better gun sights for target tracking. Meanwhile, FW-190 fighters dramatically increased their firepower capabilities. Bomber survival depended on staying in formation to benefit from mutual protection. The epic battles fought between the German FW-190 and the B-17 Flying Fortress during World War II provide a clear picture of the constant struggle for aviation superiority. The FW-190's greater firepower and agility frequently determined the terms of battle, but the B-17's solid design and strategic bombing prowess made a lasting impression on history. These airborne encounters bear witness to the continual pursuit of tactical advantage and the quick development of military aviation technology. We have a greater understanding of the bravery of the aircrew and the significant influence of their mission on the result of the war as we consider these iconic aircraft and their illustrious encounters. Lessons from these experiences are still being applied today, influencing aerial combat's future and serving as a constant reminder of the need to strike a balance between strategy and creativity in the battlefield.